family money, this a triple threat. Really started with nothing, had to manifest. If you don't know your worth, they gon' give you less. Why they envy me? Cause I'm the best. MVP. My legacy is how they remember me. And I know success brings your enemies. That's why I keep the 40 on me, that's the remedy.
All right, what's going on, everybody? We back. Another episode, Triple Threat Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Bruce, a.k.a. Detroit Mode.
Vic Gurley, a.k.a. MVP Vic.
Brian Keys, a.k.a. BK609.
So, we have some very special guests with us today. You see, we switched locations as well, too. We have some returning guests. A lot of y'all have talked about the Dating Entrepreneur episode that we did. Y'all loved it. And so we said, you know what? Let's get it back. Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back with some three queens. Let's get the women's perspective when it comes to dating entrepreneur, right? So first, I want to bring back our guests, Maddie Takia, and the queen of the South, KP. Ladies, we got a lot of questions for y'all.
Okay, we're ready.
A lot of questions for y'all. First off, I have to ask before we get into this because people are going to want to know. Relationship status right now.
Single.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Well, last time I was on this program, I was single. But this time, I'm taken.
All right.
Okay.
Complicated.
It's complicated. Sound like a situationship here.
It's a situationship.
Uh-oh. Is he going to be watching?
That's that.
I hope I never tequila. All right, cool. Okay, so this will be interesting. All right, so when it comes to first off, skip it. What do y'all ladies think when it comes to people have said good men are a great catch. We actually talked about this last week.
Yeah.
Are men the catch? Do you feel like a high value man is the catch, or do you feel still that women are the catch when it comes to dating?
Or do you feel both?
I personally feel like it's both because it's hard to find, I feel like, a good, stable woman, and it's also hard to find a good, stable man with mindsets that are stable. That's my personal opinion.
I feel like it's both. Let's just keep it all the way G. Don't nobody want to be with nobody that's broke and not motivated. So you kind of got to be on the same page and equally yoked when it comes to those things.
Yeah, I agree. It's both. Definitely it's both. We both have to be on the same page.
Okay, so both on the same page. What makes the man a catch? What is it that makes the man a catch?
I feel like having a great mindset, not being insecure, a hustler, somebody who you feel safe with, somebody that is going to have your back no matter what, somebody that's going to push you, motivate you, but also is about his shit too. And super loving, that knows how to love, that knows how to give attention, and knows what a woman wants.
Okay.
And they got to be good looking.
I would say he's got to have vision because, submission comes with vision. So I am not following the blind.
Like that.
At all.
True. Definitely have to be motivated, and he has to be willing to, uplift his woman.
Okay.
I feel like a man's there to support his woman, have her back. For me, he has to be a praying man. He has to have God in his life. Without God, there's a no-go.
Okay.
No-go.
Another question, right? KP said he can't be broke.
No.
Can't be broke.
We can't do nothing, bro.
Do y'all all
watch-
feel the same way? Could he be trying to get his shit together, but he
We
treat
too
you a
old.
certain way?
We too old
Or
to be trying to
And
get
define broke.
Or
Yeah,
is there a certain
is
number
the
that he
number?
I don't
that
think
he
it's
needs
a
to make
number.
that?
I don't
I
think
think it
there's a
depends
number.
on the kind of woman that he's seeking. So, we consider ourselves high-profile women.
Right.
So, for to get a woman like us, it's not a dollar amount. It kind of you have to make it.
Keep it G now.
Don't sugarcoat it.
Figures, but I'm willing to bring something to the table as well. It's not like I'm making below $50,000 or below $20,000 and expecting a man to make $1 million.
So he need to
Yeah.
be
So-
six
Six
figures.
figures.
Like he has to be at 6 figures at least.
But I feel like if they have the mindset right, they're gonna do it anyways. You can't have a certain level of mindset and then have a man who's on a different level of mindset because it's never gonna work. They're two different mentalities. So if you have somebody that's a similar mentality, they're probably already making that type of money.
Okay. So let me ask you this then, right? So all of y'all plans, I'm pretty sure, to get the bag to y'all trying to get to an M, right? Mills, right?
Multi.
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 So could you date a man that's making less than you?
If it depends on where his mindset is.
Mhm.
If his mindset and he has the potential to make it, yes, for me. For me,
Same,
sure.
same. If they're ambitious, I feel like I could.
I can get him there.
Yeah. we said we could get them there. No, but I feel like if you could work together, then
Yeah.
and you got two like really good minds hustling and bustling, and you're both praying people. Like you have God, you have faith, you have fearless vision. Like I feel like it'll come together anyway.
Right.
So I'm not.
The thing about it is, though, I think men would be very insecure if they women making more money than them.
They do.
You know,
Well, that's why
all
you
the time.
can't date an insecure.
Yeah, you can't be insecure for sure. We
And
run
that's
across that all the time.
Yeah.
That's a challenge.
Have y'all dated any men that were making less than y'all?
Yes.
Yes.
And how'd that work out?
It
I'm
did.
It didn't work out,
We
right?
said in the beginning,
That's what
single.
I'm saying. Y'all saying y'all
So-
would, but
So that,
No, but we would. But it's not our fault if they're having mental struggles.
Yeah.
So then back to the price point. Then you said 6 figures. I think you was leaning more towards it was a mindset thing. You got a number?
I would say at least 6.
Right.
I mean, it could be a lower 6 figures, but yeah, at least like a 6-figure income. Like I'm willing.
He probably
like,
got to
if-
have 7 for you.
KP.
That's my no.
Yeah.
I mean, you always prefer it,
Yeah.
but I prefer less and have a good, solid dude than a asshole who's making more.
Right. No, it's not. There's not really a number. I mean, like, I just feel like I'm in my 30s. You in your 30s. Like, we can't be just making 25,000 and thinking that that's just crazy.
Yeah.
Like, if you have no ambition and no drive, you gonna stay making that kind of money. Then you need to get that kind of woman
Exactly.
because she don't want nothing else.
Mhm.
But people that hustle and bustle and are entrepreneurs and people that make money, we always want more money.
Mm-hmm.
We don't ever stop and be like, you know what? I'm good this week. I ain't going to work. We wake up 5 o'clock in the morning like,
Yeah.
yo, what I got to do? I'm sending emails. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Like, I'm already working on other businesses that I have. Like, you want more. So I just don't think that. And I think that once you start dating a certain type of individual, you kind of just attract that same type
That's
of,
true.
you know, if I'm being totally honest, people that make less money like that, they don't really even approach me.
They don't exist.
No, I didn't say they don't exist.
Okay.
They
Oh,
exist.
okay.
But they don't typically come up and just be like, "Hey, wanna
I
talk
think
to
it
you."
maybe for women. I could see that for women.
No, for y'all.
for us,
Oh, y'all be having
nah.
some birds.
No, for us, hey,
But here's the
Because they
thing.
don't
They on
seem to
our
care
head.
about dollars.
But you don't care about that.
They
Yeah, we don't care
that.
about
They
money.
don't care
Yeah, we
about
really
money.
don't. We really don't.
We look for stability.
Right.
Men don't care. She can be.
But that's what you're supposed to be. You are supposed to be
Yeah.
a provider. That's what
Right,
the Bible
yeah.
says. So I'm only going by what the word says. You can't get mad at me if I say, hey, you got to have no money. That ain't got nothing to do with me. You got to talk to Jesus about
okay,
that.
all right then. So staying on the topic of money then. This was a big thing from the first part of this episode. Money, bank accounts. Have joint bank accounts? Have separate bank accounts? How's the money set up? Who chooses what is done with the money?
I say 3.
I say 3 too.
I say 3.
I say you both have your own, and then you have one that's joint.
Did y'all go to therapy too?
No.
No.
I just
You know,
We just pray a lot.
if y'all remember from the first one, you know,
That's exactly what he said.
he learned that.
There we
with
go.
therapy.
Because I was married and I didn't do that. In my marriage, and I'm divorced now, but when I was married, we had an account together and it did not work out. That was one of the biggest things we always argued about. So going forward, I said, no, fuck that. You have yours, I have mine, and then we have a joint one.
So how much goes in the joint?
Whatever you guys
An equal
negotiate.
amount, yeah.
Whatever.
So do you believe in like the percentage concept, which is, you know, everybody gets a certain percentage? so that nobody is shortchanged.
Now listen, I just told you what the Bible said. The
Right.
Bible said you are the provider. So what you gonna talk about an 80-20?
No, what I mean by the percentage thing is like, okay, say for example, you're dating a guy that makes $1 million. You make $500,000. So at the end of the day, it goes like this: he gets 5, you get 5, joint account gets 5. You
No,
agree
I
with
don't
that?
like that.
No.
No, you
No,
are the
you the
provider.
provider.
Uh huh.
The man should always lead the house. Like, no, I don't believe in that 50-50
Then we're
shit.
roommates.
No. I'm not saying 50-50.
We not together.
know.
We are roommates. We are 50-50,
No percentages.
honey.
I'm not
Like-
saying 50-50. I'm saying as far as the percentage that you both get to take as your spending money.
Oh,
Does that make sense? Because if he's making more, let's say he's paying all the bills, right? But he still got, let's say he still got $5,000 at the end of paying all the bills a month to do whatever the hell he wants to do, and you only got 2. Do you think that's fair, or do you think it should be he should give you some of what he got to make
I
sure?
think he should do whatever
Yeah.
makes her happy.
yeah.
Whatever
And
makes
I-
her happy that they both mutually agree on.
Okay.
I also feel like if men aren't providing the way that they are and making their woman happy, they're gonna start getting insecure. I feel like that's what makes a man feel powerful anyway. So I feel like that's a fear move. If you're not giving, if you're not feeling like I'm the man, like I really can take care of this woman,
Right.
I feel like that's when insecurity starts kicking in. I feel like men feel more powerful when they can do more. So if they're not, I feel like that's gonna make them actually feel worse about themselves.
For some, and then some just
I
don't
feel
care.
like that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah. I mean, especially if you're talking about alpha men, particularly. I'm sure everyone here wants an alpha man, correct?
I do.
Yeah.
I have to have that.
Right. So yeah, that's would be probably. I mean, for me, shoot, I'm cool with one making more money than me. It doesn't really hurt me. I still make my bag, but I could see on the other side how a man would feel insecure, especially if he's trying to come up at the time and he's like, yo, like, you know, she making more money than me. It would make some people feel insecure. You know what I'm saying? One thing y'all didn't mention though, and this is like we talked about this, and I was like, this is high on my list, is emotional intelligence. I care more about that than a lot of other stuff because I've dated an entrepreneur, and you know she make a lot of money. We had a good relationship, but being an entrepreneur and dating an entrepreneur, there's a lot of stuff that happens that we don't really think about. You know what I'm saying? That causes a lot of friction that most people don't think about. But that's another story. But emotional intelligence, which when I asked that, is like nobody said, well, I want somebody to know how they deal with arguments, with fights and stuff like that, right? Because we all are entrepreneurs, we all are sharks in our own right. That's how we make a lot of money. But then if you come together in an argument and y'all like that too,
I think that you are able to negotiate better when you're an entrepreneur because you have those skills already to kind of analyze the situation and then dissect it and then approach it.
Yeah.
So I'm not coming at you on no, we're about to rah, because our time is money. I ain't got time for that. So we can just, how we going to work this out? We're used to discussing business. So if, when you think about it, like, let's just be real, a relationship is no different than a business. You have a business agreement. I'm not going to go rah with my business partners. We're going to sit down and have conversations.
but I'm
If
just
we
saying there's some
disagree-
people that, I'll give you an example, athletes, for instance, right? They're not an entrepreneur, but they're athlete. They make 7 figures, some of them. A lot of them, why is it they end up getting it? And I don't agree with domestic violence at all, but a lot of them have those issues because they're not emotionally intelligent. They're skilled at what they do, so they make a lot of money, but that don't mean the emotional intelligence they have to deal with their problems. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
And I think that's people in general. not
Yeah,
just
I was going to say
athletes.
that's not just,
and just understanding the roles of relationships, especially with women entrepreneurs who make money. Often, I know a lot of women won't get mad, and when we use the word submissive, they get offended about being submissive. That's not a bad thing. I think that a lot of times, especially for women and entrepreneurs, they forget the roles.
right.
At the end of the day, no matter who makes the most money, the man is still supposed to lead the household. And it's hard for us, being especially me, an alpha female, to sometimes take the back seat. It's not take the back seat in a bad way, like you tell me what to do, but still allow the man to lead the house. And if he's a good man, he's still going to be supportive of what you want and your ideas and your goals too as well. But sometimes girls just, they forget. So you got 2 men, literally, you got
Right.
2 men in a household. It's not going to work.
Yep.
So it causes a lot of the arguments and the fights. Nobody wants to compromise. So knowing your role in the relationship, something I had to learn. That's why, going to divorce taught me a lot. That I'm still a lady. He's still my significant other. And I allow him to lead, but he still supports me in a way I needed to be supported.
Like that.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like, too, understanding the opposite sex. Some people, I don't feel like, understand the opposite sex, so they'll be triggered by certain things that the opposite sex will do because they're taking it the wrong way because they're thinking of how they think and not how the opposite sex thinks.
Right.
So I think understanding the opposite sex, too, helps a lot because then you won't get angry, you won't get upset about things that they're doing because you understand, like, that's just their nature.
But I also feel like we're talking about athletes. Athletes are in their 20s. In our 20s, we wasn't wrapped too tight. And, for us to sit here and honestly say we didn't have violence in our relationships or, you getting in an argument and she throwing a phone or doing this, all that, like verbal, whether it's verbal or physical. We've all been through that, but that's taught us what we don't want. And I tell people all the time, there's relationships I've been in where it's been very violent. There's relationships where I've been in where I've been like, it's been great. He's treated me great, but he didn't, do what he was supposed to. So it's like you go through all these stages and you start learning what you want in one person. You start kind of throwing them in a little bucket. And then that person will come and they'll find you. And you'll be able to now look at, okay, this is minuscule compared to what I've already gone through. So I know how to work through this. You know what I mean? And I think that just comes with age. I think that the expectation that we should have it all the way together at 30 is so far-fetched. I think that in your 30s is when you actually start getting your businesses together and, getting your finances in order. Start looking at IRA, start looking at annuities, start looking at, okay, how am I going to make it till I'm 65? Because if I'm dependent on Social Security, I'm screwed. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like people set this expectation in their 20s that you should be here. And it's like, you really should be living your best life when you're 20. Don't have no kids, travel, do all those things. And then when you get to 30, 31, 32 is when you're like, all right. And you start to really find who you are as a person. Now you can go into whatever relationship you're in and allow that man to lead. You know what I mean? Because you've already been through the worst parts.
And that's kind of what I think is wrong with the generation now. I know we had this conversation before.
Because we got like a lot of people that's listening that aren't going to be in their 30s, right? And so, that's why I want to I'm glad y'all touching on that too, because some people that may be watching that's in their 20s like, shit, why my relationships ain't working out and stuff like that.
They ain't supposed to.
They're not supposed to work out. Everybody want to be in a relationship.
You just got out of a school dance.
Like to your boyfriend. Like, girl.
Like.
But then, okay, so relationships not working out early on. So let's talk about, I guess, once you get past that phase. How do you learn how to handle conflict? Because the issue now is you have people who they butt heads and then they ready to quit, call it quits. It's too easy to go find somebody else. You got social media out here. You can reach anybody from anywhere in the world. So it's easy to just go find somebody else. So how do you handle conflict then as an entrepreneur? Because it's like, all right, I got my shit together. Your partner may have their shit together. So how do you deal with that? How do you handle that conflict if y'all are butting
in those moments? You treat it as a business. Like, listen, we gotta talk about this because you just gotta. Once your mind is set on peace, like I'm not going for it. Like I'm not doing it. I'm not. And I got kids, so I like to talk as little as possible when it comes to us having to discuss what we got to talk about real quick. I feel got an issue. I got an issue. How we fix it.
True. And you always have to ask each other, like, what is it you want? I think if you're on the same page and you both want the same thing, as long as you are living without fear, I feel like a lot of people are quick to move because they think like, all right, on to the next one, but not realizing on to the next one, it looks pretty from the outside, but it's not always internally like as pretty as it looks. So I think if you got a good person and you have a humble heart and you're really like genuinely a loving person, you're not a selfish person, you're not always like, I feel like that's why it's hard for me to date somebody who is not connected with God, because they're going to be quick to lead with fear and be like, oh, fuck, this shit ain't working. Well, if you really sit down and ask yourself, what is not working? Is it the person that's not on the same wave as you, or is it just because you are just quick to not make it work out? That, to me, that's, you're not really living with true, genuine love. You're more living with like a intent for something.
Or not allowing your ego. A lot of times people are trying to prove who's right and who's wrong.
Right.
That's the problem with people in relationships. Nobody is right or wrong. When you can accept the fact that that's their opinion, it's your opinion, you both try to compromise and make it easier. A lot of times people trying to prove who's right or who's wrong. So you go back and forth. You want him to be the bigger person, but then he wants you to be the bigger person, and it's just a never-ending cycle.
I also feel like people don't really understand what love is. Like, love is not a feeling, it's a sacrifice. So you got to make sacrifices unselfishly to make somebody else happy. That's what love is. And I feel like people don't understand that. And you don't understand that concept of what it means to do that. And people really don't understand feelings when it comes to certain things. Like, you could say, I feel that you did this and this. And then what are they going to say? They're going to say, well, I didn't do that. No, but it's not about whether or not you did it or not. It's about how that person feels. So that person is entitled and validated in their feeling. You may not agree with their feeling, but you have to respect their feeling. You know what I mean? So I think that people confuse the two. And that's where it's like, well, if you love me, you're going to do this. Well, hold up, bruh. You tripping. I'm not about to do that. So that don't mean I love you any less. It just means, like, I feel that's not going to work.
Right.
So as a woman entrepreneur, what are the top three things that you value in a relationship?
Honesty, respect, and just that genuinity, like being a genuine person.
I
Like,
don't think that's a word.
it probably is.
She just made it up. But
Made it up.
I know
She
no
made
one
it
is
up.
validated.
Can we check that?
Google
But I know
fact
what she
check that.
means.
Somebody
Genuinity.
put that in Scrabble. I don't know.
Being the person being
I always
genuine.
say put it in
Put it in
Scrabble.
the Scrabble dictionary.
If I said it, I meant it, and I'ma stick inside.
Somebody spell check that.
All right. Okay. And you, Maddie Takea, what's up?
I would say honesty, definitely. Respect, definitely. The last one, I would say, like genuinely.
You want to throw that
genuinity.
Never heard me.
No, all jokes aside,
She
because
can't
it's like,
wait.
I want you to be real. Like, just be 100% yourself.
So
like,
authentic. You want to be
Authentic, yeah.
authentic.
All three.
Okay.
All three, I agree. That's the hardest thing, though, people being authentic. I always say the first 6 months, you meet the representative.
Absolutely.
First 6 months. I'm telling you, never meeting the person who they say they are in the first 6 months. It's always like the imposter, like it's somebody else.
Okay.
Yep.
So what's
Yep.
your top three then?
So I would say
She said
being
the same-
honest, same thing. Respect.
Y'all didn't mention loyalty though.
I said loyalty.
Honestly,
Y'all ain't
Yeah,
mention
but-
loyalty. Y'all ain't
Loyalty,
mention
I didn't say
patience.
loyalty.
None of that.
But if you honest,
if you
you
honest,
But that
gonna be
comes
loyal.
with, right, that comes
Genuinity.
with authenticity
Yes.
and being honest.
Okay, so
That's what I was trying to
So-
put both of them together.
all right. Y'all didn't mention this either. How important
You
is sex?
said
How important
three.
is
You ain't
sex?
say we had to do
How
10.
important? Okay.
Right.
You
How
got the three.
important?
You said the top
Let's-
three.
let's-
Well, clearly we didn't say sex,
let's-
so it ain't in our top
Right.
three.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the birds and the bees.
You could have some
You gotta get past that
mean
first.
and be just not worth enough.
That's true, but how important is a relationship for y'all? Just be honest.
What do you mean? Like,
Sex good or no?
oh,
They got everything else, but if the sex not good, you stay?
That's not happening.
No, I can't. Sex not good. It's a no-go.
Okay.
yeah.
You
Even
not-
if he got all the
No,
y'all
he's
top three,
so sweet.
if he got your top three,
I mean, you could teach
Still don't
him.
matter.
I'm going
got
to
the
help him shoot
genuinity.
his shot with my friend.
What she said?
Right. You didn't give us five. You didn't give us five.
Yeah.
I'm going to help
gonna-
him shoot his shot with my
man,
homegirl.
you gonna put it off on your homegirl?
She might not care if he honest. She might put that as her third one. You know,
we
you
can
never
do
know.
that, though.
She might just need good D, respect and
I have done it before.
authenticity.
You
She
done
don't
that?
need honesty. He can
Yeah,
cheat.
if I felt somebody was better for my friend, yes, absolutely.
Oh, definitely. I'm going to slide you
All
smooth to the
time.
left.
Because that might be
you know,
her match.
I,
Like,
no,
And we ain't
I've done that
blessing
too.
blockers. I'm not a blessing blocker.
Me
Me
neither.
neither. We talk about
I've done that before.
So you can get him, honey.
That's selfish.
So look, what we got from well, I know I heard a lot of it from the first episode that we did, is listeners trying to understand the opposite sex, like they're thinking things they may not understand. So, do y'all have questions? And I mean, y'all can ask us, like things you don't understand about men.
Why y'all
That
so
you would like to-
hard-headed?
Okay, hard-headed about like
Yeah, about what?
like elaborate.
Yeah.
Like,
Like,
even advice you try to give him,
Yeah.
right? Especially, I feel like my biggest challenge is like when you try to give a man advice and they don't want to listen to you. Especially if it's an entrepreneur, like you know everything, you can't tell him shit. Like it might take
So-
you. He gotta go listen to somebody else or wait 6 months for him to do something that you told him 7 months ago.
All right, so I'll give my perspective because I know I've had an issue with it in the past. So as an entrepreneur, well, like me personally, being the head person, being the one that everybody looks to, I make all the decisions. I come up with the plans to implement everything. So when somebody outside of my business is coming in and saying like, "Hey, you should do this, this, and this," yes, I used to have a hard time processing that because I was like, "Well, how you gonna tell me? And I've been doing this like." So, and now I'm not saying that that's a good thing because, like I said, that's something that I've worked on. So I've grown from that. But I did have that issue early on in entrepreneurship because I felt like I'm the boss. I'm gonna do things how I want to do. So
So it's the ego thing.
that
It's
that
a
too,
good thing.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's
Yeah.
ego.
It's an ego thing.
I do feel like men have a stronger ego.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, nah. And I tell people, ego is exiting God out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to learn how to get rid of that ego. I learned that early on. You know what I'm saying? To be able to really prosper, you got to get the ego out. You know what I'm saying? Because even you can even learn something from a homeless person. Like a lot of times with us men, we don't want to take advice from somebody that's not above us.
Right.
Because we like
So
the,
true.
the information,
Yeah.
we don't know if it's going to be valuable. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you can learn something from your kid.
True.
You know, and so I had to learn that early on. Is that like I can't just only accept people's advice and knowledge only if they're above me, because that was my life for a while. I was like, yo, like you're not making more money than me. What am I listening to you for?
Right.
Like, or you're not at the level of where I want to be at. You know, relationships or whatever. Why am I listening to you? And the thing about it is that you can learn from somebody's mistakes. They can tell you they might not be where you at, but they telling you, listen, I went through that. Facts, you know, here. And I'm like, okay, so I had to learn that early on. So I think that's what the issue that a lot of men have had. I know personally I've had that.
Yeah, and that goes back to like what you were saying about how you could tell him something and he don't listen, but then somebody else does. So like what he was saying, if somebody else is successful or somebody that he may look up to, then it's easier to accept that advice.
So what's your top 3?
Yeah.
Y'all top 3. He like, huh? Top 3. Top 3 things you look
Top 3,
Loyalty,
yeah.
communication.
What else? Loyalty, communication. And mine a little different. You know, but,
So I say
Sex.
I say respect, coachability.
Coachability. We
That
on a
word
football
too?
team.
Right.
That's a trait you should work on. Everybody should have that actually.
I'm just kidding. I agree.
Respect, coachability, and then the term I'm looking, I don't know, maybe nurturing. Because I look at when I look at a woman, I think about, and I think about it more now because I have a son. So I think about like, how would you be as a mother? Because there's a lot of women out here who in the streets more than they with their kids. I don't want no parts.
But y'all be serving them up some 42.
Ah.
Y'all be serving them up some 42.
But like we said on the last podcast, they serve a purpose.
Hey, but that was
y'all be married.
that was exactly no, not marrying them. That was they were serving a different purpose.
Serving
now.
a purpose.
But see, once you get in a different headspace and you looking for something else, and all that change.
Yeah.
Cause like now, for instance, when the last time you seen me in a club?
Okay, because now you searching. 2 weeks ago, you was pouring it down.
He was outside 2 weeks ago.
He was outside.
man.
42 boys. Ain't that what they put out on the marquee? 42 boys. I know I seen it.
I don't know, for life.
Well, I would like y'all to know I am turning over a new leaf.
He's turned over a new leaf. I'm proud of my boy.
Okay.
And 2
Relationship status.
I'm gonna say, I'll lead off, because hey, I'm gonna keep it 100. Just like KP said, the last episode, I was single. Now, I'm not.
It's official.
So what happened with this last episode?
Right. Like,
Everybody really
What? A week ago.
in 2 weeks?
Hey, nah,
Things
I'm
can
just
change.
messing with you.
But
That's
yeah,
good. I'm happy for
He's leading the pack for us.
Good job.
Set an example.
I'm looking on the bigger and better things. So we'll see how it goes.
I'm still single, currently, but
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, what?
what's
Right. What's the answer? What's cool?
It's cool. I like it.
Oh,
So what's your
status,
answer?
Yeah, the world's watching.
We can plead the fifth on one of them, right?
The world is
1,
watching.
2, 3,
Not
4,
today.
5. I'm pleading the fifth. I ain't.
Please.
Oh,
Remember that.
If
Just
you're in a
remember that with
relationship-
the questions you
Hey.
guys have to ask us.
Don't
Right.
get it.
Remember,
Keep it
we
real.
get to plead the
Don't
I
get
fifth.
in
got
trouble now.
you. So in God's eyes,
What?
I'm single.
there you go.
In God's eye.
Oh, because you ain't
You're
married.
single, unless you're married.
But he's taken.
Hey, all right, now I'm getting in trouble. Man.
I'm chilling.
Hey, y'all heard what I said.
You know what?
Nah.
My answer is similar to his.
Y'all heard. What you
Not
mean?
really. I'm lying. In God's eyes,
Y'all heard what I said.
What about in
What'd you
your
say?
eyes?
Y'all heard what I said. I'm taking.
What is in your eyes?
He has a person of interest.
there you go.
There we go.
Person of interest.
She
He's
gonna
not
get
looking.
mad at what you just
Right.
said.
No,
She gonna be pissed.
I don't think so.
If I was to ask her, what would she say?
The same thing.
What was? You didn't say anything.
She's a person of interest.
So you're a person. So now we're in the like.
I'm unavailable. There you go. How about that? Is that a good answer? I'm unavailable.
You're in a
Then
relationship.
you're taken.
So you're taking.
Right. Just say
You're
you're
in a
taking.
relationship.
Unavailable.
What are you scared of?
I'm unavailable
that
too.
means that somebody's
Right, you're unavailable
I'm unavailable
too, right?
too. Damn,
We're-
put it on camera.
So in God's eyes, we're single, right?
Yeah, we're still single, but I'm unavailable.
But
so
unavailable.
Don't try to shoot your
I'm
shot.
unavailable.
Boy, you be putting yourself in the hot seat. Well,
right?
It's more and more.
all you got to do is just answer the
Right,
question
just
and
do it.
move on.
You know
Answer the question and move on.
This-
He trying to
This reverts
He
back to
just-
my
Focus on
first
it.
question. Why you so hard-headed?
I'm not hard headed.
That
I'm
was
not
a
hard.
simple yes
Listen,
or no.
I am like the question you talked about when you like taking advice and all. I don't have that issue.
So you're just dating somebody.
No, I'm talking about like what
No,
you
we're
are.
talking
That
about
question is
relationships.
Nah, you
we trying to
hard-headed.
get to an answer. This is why people
You
fight.
hard-headed.
You see? This is why guys and girls fight
See?
in relationships.
Why?
Hey, you
Cause
gotta
let
keep
me
it.
tell
You gotta
like-
keep it a buck.
I'm very easy
Yup.
going in a relationship. I keep it a buck.
Well, that's not a butt.
I
That's
take
very
advice.
wishy-washy.
How?
That's very confusing.
So-
I'm confused right
Why
now.
you
I'm very confused.
Are you in a relationship or not?
Confused too. Where the rest of my tequila? Ain't some-
Have his
coming.
cake and eat it too.
But nah, like I mean, no, I'm not trying to have my cake and eat it too. Trust me. Like I'm the type of dude that when I'm dialed in, I'm dialed in.
Are you exclusively dating?
There you go.
Yes.
Then you are not available.
Yes.
You are taken.
I said I wasn't available.
You are
I
taken.
said I'm taking.
No, you
no,
did
you did not.
Did I not say that?
Play the
What did we
camera.
say?
Manipulator.
Play it back.
Manipulator.
What did we say?
This is what women
Chris,
are
what did we say?
Unavailable.
Well, the world gonna
We
be
said
able
the
to
same
see
thing.
when it come out.
We said the same thing. I am exclusively talking to somebody. There you go.
So you're in a relationship.
It's not a relationship.
Okay.
How is it not?
All right. I got
You're
a
either
yeah.
exclusive or
Okay.
you're not.
Okay, so let's break that down.
question for the.
Let's break it down.
Yeah, break it down.
So, exclusively dating and relationship, is that not the same?
It's the same to me.
Or is it? Okay,
It's
so
the
it's the
same.
same.
How's it the same?
Because you're either dating, which means you could see other people, y'all have an understanding. If you're exclusive, you might as well say you're in a relationship. What's the difference? You can't see nobody else anyway.
Okay. So I'll say this. Here's the lesson I learned in life, right?
It's not saying you're married or
I'm
engaged.
gonna give you
It's
this.
just
I'm
like-
gonna give you this. Here's the lesson I learned in life. So when you're talking to somebody, right? You're trying to get to know them. I learned that when you are entertaining multiple options, you never give that
Facts.
any of these relationships a real chance.
Especially for men.
You don't, because you have different options. So, what I've learned in my 38 years of life on this one for it. Is that it's just best to focus on one situation, whatever it is, and see what happens.
I don't
And if it
agree with
doesn't
that.
work out,
You don't?
why?
Because
Because if it doesn't work out, you can always say, I gave this situation my all.
right.
And if it doesn't work out, it is what it is. But if you're giving somebody this piece and somebody that piece and somebody this piece, you're never really giving anything your all. So you're never really all in.
It's probably
So-
different for women, but
No,
for
but
men,
me, or just different for me, because I don't agree with that.
it's probably different for women.
Yeah, I don't agree.
No,
with
it's
all
actually worse for women.
I don't believe in
it's
putting
just
all your eggs in one basket.
You don't?
until you
that
know.
until that person makes me feel
And when
like
you're-
worthy
should.
of me
Okay.
giving him all of that.
And when
Because-
you're dating multiple people, you know exactly who got a fair shot and who don't.
Exactly.
So you
ain't
give that
gonna be
person-
entertaining yourselves with Tweedledee and
Yeah.
Tweedledum, and
Yeah.
you got this one over here. You're not.
Wait,
gonna
can we
do
give
that.
a shout out to
Bianca is the
Bianca.
best bartender.
Thank you,
in-
Bianca.
Bianca, what's your Instagram?
at Let
Bianca Gina.
I'll make sure we put
Gina?
that
What?
in the show notes.
Show them in the camera.
Oh, shit.
Appreciate you.
So, okay, so you said
Make sure you take your shot.
don't put all your eggs in one
Shots
basket.
there too. Oh, shit.
And you know for sure which one has the fair shot.
You know,
Usually,
we
yeah.
know, we know.
So,
That's
in
gonna
my
give us your
opinion,
So how would you
date-
feel if the dude wasn't putting all his eggs
I
in
don't
one
You
basket?
communicate.
You wouldn't care?
Expect
You don't
that.
care?
I don't expect that.
No,
I
but
don't
But that's my point.
communicate
But
that.
what if you do communicate that?
So you communicate, like when you first meet, okay, cool, like listen, you do your thing, I'm gonna do my thing, all right, cool. I really like you, like and if you really, like in my opinion, whichever one you feel like you really are like, all right, this is the one you're gonna give that one the most attention. That one you're gonna work the hardest with until you both say like, yo, I don't wanna see nobody else. I think like you could be like, this could really be, and then you make the decision, all right, we're gonna be exclusive. You cut everybody off, I'm gonna cut everybody off, and now you're in a relationship to see if you want to be engaged, to see if you want to spend the rest of your life together.
Yeah, y'all see, nigga.
But if
Me,
you
they-
don't,
no, but
if
me,
you
I
don't
don't
do
agree with
that, but I'm not saying you're having sex with all of them. I'm saying you're dating them.
Yeah.
So because if you give all your energy to that one person and that person's not doing the same thing, now you just wasted your time.
Yeah,
That
but what if,
energy-
what if
what
y'all
about the
both
other men,
agree?
though?
What if
What do you
y'all
mean?
agree?
Okay, so
that we're
everybody
seeing each
knows
other
everybody could do
exclusively?
whatever they want
No, I know. Okay, but so
until you have that conversation.
so you're dating other men. You say you're not having sex with them. What, you just letting them take you to dinner?
Yeah.
But that's the thing. You wasting their time.
So you only
No.
smashing the one that
like,
you think is
like, no dude wants to take you to dinner if they don't
wanna
want to
eat?
smash.
No, but you have an
I'm sure
idea.
he do want to eat, but I'm sure it ain't no motherfucking dinner. You know what I'm saying? So
But you know what? That's why you talk. That's why you communicate. And you know what? It doesn't always have to be like go to dinner or whatever. Like you kind of have an idea, and then you're obviously gonna put more effort into the one that you feel until you feel like, yo, all right, fuck it, like let's go all
But do
in.
you understand leading these other men around?
It's not leading
It's
them.
called breadcrumbing. So what you're doing is you're hurting some of them because let's say, for instance,
No,
if I
but
was
you be honest.
Chris,
let's say, for instance,
So,
I-
Chris, you really genuinely
You
when
be
date only one
honest.
girl. When you
I have to now as a
man.
man because the thing is when you have a certain type of money and certain status, you got a lot of options. If I don't give one girl,
Yeah, but
my
how do you
all,
figure out that she's the one girl?
what? Yeah,
You gotta date
no,
multiple
you have
people.
to date multiple people. Absolutely not. In the beginning,
In the
well,
beginning, that's what I'm saying. I'm not
in the
saying
beginning.
once you have that conversation, you gotta give it all.
I agree, but I'm saying that I know when I meet somebody, I can know in the first 2 days if there's somebody that I'm gonna take, like I'm gonna be interested in. I know
you
the first
smash?
2 days.
Then don't.
So you cut
I ain't
off
gonna
all the-
smash.
So in
I
the
just
first
know
2
for
days, you
sure.
cut off all the other girls that you talking to. Just talk to her after 2 days.
Even if
Because
you never had that
I
conversation.
know
I
as a
think it's
woman,
possible.
as a
I think
man,
it's
we know
possible.
a woman
I'm
is
saying it's
wifey, and
possible.
we
Do
know a
you guys
woman
do
we
that,
just
though?
have sex with.
Second
I
date,
I'll tell you,
right, you stop talking to
I
everybody.
have. For me, I have to.
Absolutely,
Yeah, we have to.
Because check this out.
But
If
y'all don't
I'm-
have that conversation
Nah,
first?
if I start dating somebody and I'm still messing with other females, it'll never stop.
Never stop.
Because once you do it, you feel like, all right, well, I can
do
get
it.
away
So
with
when
it.
do you stop?
So
but wait, that makes
no, but see, that's the thing. So, like for instance, my situation, it came up. Everybody,
You
was,
X everything
everybody,
up.
everything was.
But how-
everything- I don't
how
care.
many
I don't
dates
care.
did you
I don't
take?
care what we had
How many
before.
dates-
I'm here now.
How many dates did you go on with her, and how many phone calls did you guys have before
Two.
you?
I'm telling you, it
Oh,
only
which
takes
that's
two.
fine. That could be for me too.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I go all.
But I think just like
I'm
we can figure
genuine.
it out
When I
early
say
on.
I
So
go
can
all in, I
y'all.
don't be fucking lying.
Because I
So
could,
y'all be lying.
because after them dates, I could have still been messing with other females, right? And even if we decide, all right, now we're gonna be exclusive, we're gonna be serious. I've already been talking to you and these females
you
at
had
the
to
same
though
time.
because you can't just beat
But
somebody
see,
and be like,
that's the
oh,
thing.
never mind, I like this girl and I'm
But
gonna cut her off.
But see, that's what I do though.
Because the thing about
Only
us,
when you feel like she could be the one.
but we know that up front.
But that's
as
what I'm
men.
saying. You
we
gotta-
can we can date somebody. We can meet somebody and be like, she different. We already know as men. Y'all women are a
As
little
soon as
different.
you guys say she's different, y'all are like, okay,
Because
bitches.
we
all
know
you guys are.
we know what women
No,
is not.
That's 100.
How's
That's
that
100%.
Y'all have to go on a couple dates while you're still talking to
Nah,
A
other
man
girls.
There's
is
a difference.
going to act right for the woman that he
No,
sees
We
value
know
in
it's
acting
different.
right for.
We know it's
But you gotta
But we know it
look
too,
at
but
the
we
type of
still-
man too, because you gotta think about it. Like, we're all pretty established, right? So we got our shit together. We know what we're going in life. It doesn't take all of that for us. We have a conversation, and if we can tell from that conversation whether she's gonna be somebody that we want to put our time and energy into.
It could be the
The
first
same
time
with us
too.
though. But we still are not going to be like, okay, one day, yo, Takia, that's it.
Right, because
This
y'all
is the one.
y'all are the ones getting wine and dine and courted.
Facts.
We not. We doing that.
No.
So
No.
if you think about it, a man, when you first go on a date with a female, you got to take her out to dinner, right? Okay, say you had a conversation, it don't work out. Now it's back to the drawing board. Now the next one, you got to do the same thing again. And you gotta continue to do that. Meanwhile, y'all keep doing that and y'all not investing anything.
We are our time.
Time, right?
Okay.
Women like to be
Y'all
in
are-
relationships. You guys are acting like if, I
The
feel like
time
a
is
genuine-
obvious from both parties.
Exactly. So it's not like, unless you're an immature woman who has the time to just be like, oh, fuck it, I'm gonna use men. Like, I don't have time for that. Literally, I don't even got time to date multiple dudes. But I'm not gonna be like 100% all in until I know that dude is also telling me, yo, I'm 100%
So that
all
means
in.
you're gonna be dating multiple.
I'm
dudes.
dating, and I'm saying it openly. Like, yo, until we both have that
So
conversation,
you are okay with dating multiple dudes.
I don't even be having
until the
conversations,
conversation.
though.
Until
I
we
don't have
both
those type of
agree on the
conversations.
same.
I'm about to say that.
And,
yeah,
and,
I do. I'm
and how
like,
many
yo.
you do?
It's unreal
Because it's not gonna be
respect.
honest
I just feel
anyway.
like
But I don't sleep with multiple dudes. When I'm dating, I'm not sleep. I literally am just dating. Like, I don't have, like, I just don't have
What
the
I
time.
want you to
What I mean
understand
about
on
those-
men's
So you
perspective
got
is
one
that
dude
we're not
that you
gonna
like,
date.
this the one that's gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else is gonna take me out.
Because with us,
No, it's not like that. It's not purposely. I'm not sitting there in my head like, this one is gonna do. No,
But
it's more
somebody
like
getting-
you're dating.
Exactly.
You're dating.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic.
That's
Somebody
what I mean.
fucking.
Somebody could
Keep it a
eventually
stack.
get it. Somebody could eventually get it.
stack.
No, I'm keeping it a stack. I legit have not for months.
What?
I legit have not done shit for months. So I will date multiple. Like,
How
that's
long?
just how. For like 4 months.
2
4
months.
months.
Since my ex, yeah, for real.
she's
I put this on
a serial
game.
dater.
I'm
She's
a-
a serial relationship person though. We gotta put
Yeah.
that disclaimer on.
I'm
Serial relationship
100.
person.
Like, I don't play games. Like,
Yeah.
I'll be cool
Her
with
IG
or whatever.
is
Okay, so how
Maddie
many-
something.
Okay, so how many you dating then?
right.
How many you on the roster?
Literally,
But she not
fucking
really
nobody
dating
right
because
now.
we've been working so
'Cause I've
much.
been-
She don't
I'm
have
just-
that time
Yeah,
to
she's a
date.
serial relationship person. KP.
Okay.
I have intent for what I
KP
do.
out. Look, KP like,
Before you got your man,
yeah.
Right.
What put him in front of the pack?
yeah, how many
Yes.
people was of interest, and then how did you like? All right, I'm locked in now.
Or better yet, how many dates did it take
Nah,
for you to go
don't-
with him
don't
before
get
you
a-
made that?
two?
Exactly.
Yeah, don't get a
You
number.
Just said 2 days.
But nothing's
Same
wrong with that. We didn't say there was
Nah,
a
but
number.
that's
I
real.
said that.
You know
There's
early
no
on,
number.
right?
There's no number. We just said
individual too.
until you say, like, all right, fuck it, I'm going to cut
Before
everybody.
he came into the picture and I actually started talking to him, I was talking to 2 people.
Okay. But you started
One
talking to
was
him.
getting it, the other one wasn't.
And how long did it take with your current man?
She said 2 days.
Right, 2 dates, but I'm saying over the course of
To disconnect from them?
it,
Yeah.
the period of
Immediately.
time. What's that?
Thank you. Immediately.
Man, that's
when
what I'm
you
saying.
know.
But it's like they
Because
know.
it's-
It's like they can feel it or something. Like you can, because you don't call as much. You don't send the text. You don't, you know
That's what
know
I'm
how
saying.
to wean yourself off of this person and be like, yeah, it just ain't it.
But that's the
When,
thing.
when
And they
you're
know,
dude,
and then eventually-
when you're a dude, there is a comfort in being able to sleep and not worry. Like if you ever get that text, it's like we need to talk. It's like okay, what we gotta talk about? Because I know it ain't about some shit that I did while talking to you.
Right. We just had this conversation the other day. I was like, I could walk around. I got a completely clear conscience.
Exactly.
Like, okay, prior to her, whatever happened, and that's why I said, whoever was before that, that was before that. Since we've been talking, I got a completely clear conscience.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Because
that's
I
what
know
I'm
that
saying, too.
because I know
Once-
I know this is what I want. This is where I'm locked in at. We done had the conversation. We done vibe. We done
Exactly, you had the conversation.
and you spend the time. So it's like as a man, from a woman's perspective, if you pay attention to his actions, you'll be able to tell.
100%. But until that, they make it like.
So they got that conversation have to happen.
Well, you gotta have like
That's
that.
the thing. It's not
you gotta
always
have like
verbal.
that. It might not be, but you have an understanding. It's
But how
not
long are you going to
Because I'm not verbal when it comes to
That's what
that.
I'm saying.
It
Like,
could be.
if you-
It could be a month. It could be less
if
than a
you
month.
feel it early on,
Once you feel it, but I'm not saying literally. Like I feel like a lot of women, as soon as they talk to a guy, they're like, "That's it. We're in a relationship." But I don't feel like it can always be like that because I feel like that's how shit fucks up too. Because
But that was
I
the
kinda
point that I was
disagree a
trying to
little
make
bit,
when
though.
y'all asked the question for me. It wasn't a yes, I'm in a relationship. It was a yes that I decided that this is what I'm doing exclusively. No, we're not. I said that shit all fucked up. Exclusively.
We all there today.
But that's what I decided exclusively. Like, yo, all right, cool. Me and you, I'm only talking to you. I'm only like fucking with
well,
you.
once I say that, we in a relationship. Like I ain't gonna be
Nah,
out
but
here
it
telling
doesn't
dudes like,
mean-
"Oh, well, I'm in
but
a
it
situation."
doesn't
Nah,
have
I'm
to
in a
mean-
fucking relationship.
She said
It
the
doesn't
title,
have to
title
be
is
that.
there. The
It
title
doesn't
is
Yeah,
have to
like
there.
be
you
that.
can't talk to me because I'm. This is who I. Now, if you saying that means you still have an open door.
No, it doesn't.
So-
it means that
See, that's
we
what
why don't you
decided.
just say you're in a relationship?
But let me be
no,
clear
that's where it
about it.
messes up when y'all put titles on things. When I said I don't have those kind of conversations, I don't have a verbal conversation. It's all about respect for me. How you make me feel when I'm around you and how I make you feel.
Yes.
I'm not disrespected in no kind of way. I'm not hearing about the other girls. I don't entertain that.
Yeah.
And then we become exclusive in that kind of way.
Right.
But
for me,
that's what I'm
wait,
saying.
may I interject?
Yeah.
I dated somebody for 5 years, okay? And we did the whole, I don't ask you, we don't got no title, you don't ask me,
Oh, yeah, nah, fuck that.
and it went nowhere.
Nah.
Because now you set an expectation that this is okay for this type of
Yup.
behavior.
I
And
give you
you're
3
not going to
months.
respect me enough to make me exclusive. So, no,
And
that's
that
an
goes
issue.
back
But
to
that
if you
depends on the
can do
individual.
it.
Not that only if in the case if the woman if she's okay with that. For me, I'm okay with that. That's not for every woman though. Some women like myself, I
But
was
you're
okay with
okay
that.
with what?
But
Let's be
at
clear.
like,
some
I didn't
point,
need a
you're not
title.
going to be.
I don't need a title. When I'm
Okay.
ready to have a title, I will have that conversation with him and say,
Right.
okay, I'm ready to have a
But
relationship.
now-
Exactly. That's
you
why I said
already-
you will still have that
Right,
conversation.
but here's the issue with that. You've already let it to be like, okay, we've been doing this for a year. We've been going back and forth, not exclude. We haven't
I think it
had
just
the
depends on what
conversation.
you go through.
And now you
Player,
go,
though. Let's
wait,
put that out there.
wait.
Player.
That's what I'm
You gonna come over here and be like, well, now
depends
it's
on what you want.
366 day and I want a title.
Because
And he's like,
part
hold
of,
up,
no,
chill.
that's
'Cause
that,
you're tripping.
that comes with dating and get to know that person. Because if you ask me 2 days into somebody and I'm going to give you a monogamous relationship, I'm gonna only put all my attention on you. I'm gonna tell you no because I don't know
You gotta
you.
prove it.
You have to prove it. I know nothing about you, so I'm not gonna even go into it saying that we're gonna reach a relationship because I don't know. Can it change? I have a right to say absolutely yes.
Right.
Life changes. I can say okay, I've been dating you for 2 years and now I want a relationship, and that's okay.
But you can't set that expectation on him to deliver that
well, and
relationship
if
to
he
you
doesn't,
because
right.
he's like,
and if he
hey, we've been
doesn't, I'm
chilling.
okay with that. You have
But
to be
that's
okay
just
with that.
time.
If it take
Yeah,
me
you
2
have to-
years
you have to
figure
be
it
okay
out,
with
this
that, but
just ain't no
2
figure
years,
it
I
out.
I'm
don't.
good.
Yeah, I don't want to go into something like just saying for me that we're going to be relationships. I don't know.
But
that
do you
person.
think you speak from that perspective because you've been married before?
Probably so.
Yeah,
absolutely,
But,
absolutely.
but see, that kind of
Absolutely.
goes back
Yeah.
to the
Absolutely.
same thing where, because we had the conversation about marriage, right? And we all talked, gave our perspective, and mine was similar because of what marriage is now isn't what marriage was designed to be. If you talk about like the
Modern day
Bible,
marriage,
right?
traditional,
It's different now because marriage is a covenant between man, woman, and God, right? So your marriage, what was like your marriage license was a family Bible. Both spouses signed a family Bible and it's passed down. Now you get the government involved. You have to apply to get married, which means you're asking them for permission. So when people ask like, okay, would you get married? I say, I don't mind being committed to one woman for the rest of my life. It's the modern day marriage now that I don't necessarily agree with. Because when you're applying for that marriage and you're giving them control over your union, you're also giving them control to tell you what to do when you got split. Which is
That's
why
a guar-
you have these
but that's a
nasty
guarantee.
abortions. But
So you
it-
put all your, let's say you spend 10 years and neither one of you guys get married. And let's say the girl has more than you actually. And then she's like, fuck this shit ain't working. And she walks away with all her shit. You just put 10 years
I
and you're
agree.
walking away with nothing.
Why the
A
fuck
marriage-
would you wait 10 years though?
But he just
But-
said he never wants to get married.
No, but
That's
what
not
I'm
what he said.
no.
He said he's okay
What I'm saying
with
is-
committing but he doesn't know if he wants to put the government involved.
I will.
The government
married.
guarantees you.
I don't want.
You put that time in, just like a business
I
relationship.
agree.
No.
Me and Taki ain't gonna be just verbal like
Because
fuck
what
it, girl. And
what
then-
is marriage really though? That's the thing.
And that's what people I feel
People,
like feel.
I think people are missing what marriage really
Because
is.
if you
Me
go
too.
into it, if you go into it saying what if, you shouldn't be married.
Yeah,
That's true.
I
That's
feel like
the problem. People going into it talking about contracts, that means you shouldn't be married. Because if you love that person,
You know,
you go
it's
into it with
funny
the
you say
intent
that.
that's good, you want that person to be okay. Your brain isn't even going, what if we get divorced?
you're
10
gonna
years
live
from now?
fearlessly. I feel
All
like
right,
it's a
bet.
fear thing.
So hold on, we're gonna throw a little something in your corner. Because we talked about this. How y'all feel about prenups then?
I'll sign it.
Well, actually, because I was the one who made the most money and I got like stiff, I'm getting prenup next time.
I'd sign
I
it.
didn't go into my marriage thinking.
So how
that
can
we
you
would get
say what you
divorced.
I'm cool
just
without
said?
prenup.
I didn't.
Because
I
I
know.
say you
I
get
know.
a
I know
prenup.
it contradicts itself. I know, but you got to remember, I was married, so it happened to me. But if it didn't
So
happen to me, no, I'm saying, but if it didn't happen to me, when I got married, no, I did not go into it thinking that we ever would get a divorce. But it happened to me. I got a divorce and I got fucked. But when I went into it the first time, no, I didn't go into it ever thinking we were going to get divorced. Nobody should ever go into a marriage talking about
I
being
agree
divorced.
because I feel like if you go into it, you're already going
You already
into
setting up
fear.
yourself up for failure.
And this is why I feel like people have to be very spiritually grounded because if you can live without fear, you're not gonna like. At the end of the day, everybody's fear. The main fear is death, right?
Yep.
So if that's your main fear and you take those fears out of you, you're not going to be afraid to be like, yo, fuck it, I rock with you. This is what I feel. Whatever it comes with, I'm here and I'm going to stand beside it with whatever comes with it because I'm not living in fear. That means I could pick my shit back up and build this shit back up. Whether or not you but I go into a relationship with all my love. I'm not gonna do no half-ass shit. I'm gonna go all the way fucking in, whatever it takes, and whatever. If it doesn't work, I'm not even thinking about that. But you know what? If it doesn't work, I'm cool with that too. I give you everything of me, like,
It's just for
and I live in
males.
peace like that.
It's just for us men because we've had these conversations a lot. Nowadays, modern day marriage is more of putting yourself at risk. If you've been building your business for 5, 8, 10 years, 12 years like myself, you go into a marriage and let's say, for instance, there is no prenup. And there's other ways that you can get around that, with cheating clauses and stuff like that or whatever. And you put you're signing a business deal. At the end, you're all in the business. It's a business contract with the government. So if you put that at risk because your wife may not feel like she wants to take half, but the attorneys feel different. We need to sting him for everything. And so that is the risk and the fear I think happens with men that have built this shit up. Is like, am I really gonna? Because if you look at the top Forbes list of the most rich men in the world, when they income drops, it's never because of bad business deal. It's because of divorce. Mm-hmm. The top people on the Forbes, it always happens that they end up losing income. You know what I'm saying? But I feel you when it comes to you saying not fear because Jeff Bezos, for instance, he gave up fucking billions of dollars to his wife, and he still got richer.
She became the fourth richest.
So
woman
for
in
him,
the
he was
world
like, "Yo, it don't even matter how
from
much
the
I'm
money
giving
she
her."
got from that divorce."
But you know what? If you stood beside somebody, who knows how much of blood, sweat, and
I
tears
agree.
that woman put.
So how do y'all feel about Dr. Dre, his wife?
I
She
feel
went
like
through
she
some
put
shit.
blood,
She
sweat, and
deserved
tears
every
in that
penny.
shit too. And you know what? If you truly genuinely love somebody, like
So
this
what
is
you
true,
do? She
genuine.
was like helping him with the beats and shit.
No, but honest to God,
No,
I feel
she
like,
was watching the kids.
and
She
I
made
feel like
sure they was
I
fed.
feel like
You don't think there was no nanny involved?
And support him.
You don't think it was a nanny involved?
You said what?
A nanny.
It don't matter. She
It doesn't
Nah,
matter.
but
She-
so when it comes to that, I agree. Like if the woman is like, I use my son's mom for example. We not together. We ain't been together for. She was still pregnant when we broke up, but she'll always be taken care of because that's the mother of my child. So it's like when it comes to something like that, I can understand that. Like you still want to make sure they're good, but you also want to make sure that you're not being taken advantage of.
Of course. Yeah, and that's why I feel like if you do decide that you want to marry somebody, you have to really know you want to marry that person. And also for men who do feel like that, you have to ask yourself, what do you do everything for? If you sit there and you be like, what am I doing all this for? If it ain't for your family, then what is it for?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't care. Like if I built up everything and I truly say I love my family, I love this dude, I love my kids, I don't give a fuck. Take half of my shit and I'm gonna be happy watching you take half of it, even if we got a divorce.
Well,
like
most
I
men
don't
don't think that.
Right.
Nah,
Most
nah.
When y'all
people
break
in
up, they're like,
general
"Oh,
don't
figure that
think
shit
like
out."
that because everybody lives in fear.
Yeah,
It is
figure
very
it out.
hard to take total fear out of you. Like, I work on that shit every day, and it's still hard for me to take total fear out. But I have a lot less fear that I feel like than a lot of people do. I'm willing to take risks.
I just know people that I have a good friend of mine, for instance. He had to give up his whole rental property. He had 25 rental properties. He had to give up all of that stuff in divorce. You know, for him, it was like, I mean, he built stuff back up, like you said, but yo, that's like starting from the bottom. Think about how much y'all started your business, and then all of a sudden your business is taking, underneath y'all, and now y'all starting at the very bottom.
But that's why you ask yourself those questions. Am I willing to do certain things with this person? If you say no, you shouldn't marry them anyway.
But see, that's what's difficult because, like, if you think about when you're already established, like we in the positions that we're in right now, and then somebody comes in the picture, we get married, then get divorced. Do they still deserve half our shit?
It depends. It depends.
How does that depend if we built it up before them?
No, they don't.
Well, you said
How does that
before.
make sense?
No,
Yes.
if I got
You said
myself
before.
before you,
And that's what
we
I'm
don't
saying.
sign that you keep yours, I keep mine. Whatever we got in the middle, because if
Right.
we that couple anyways, we gonna build something in the middle
Mhm.
anyways.
True.
And we're good no matter what way we go. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's literally like a business.
It is.
One person's making the decisions, the other person is, okay, you're the co-owner of this relationship. So it's like, okay, you want me to sign a prenup because you came in and you got $100 million and I have one. And now I'm with you and I've learned how to make $50 million.
Right.
And now you've made an extra 50. Now I got 51, you got 150. I'm still better than I was when I came in here.
Right.
Why do I need and what I'm gonna take? Half of that 50, and now I got 25. Now I'm at 75, he's still at 125. He still has more money.
Yeah, but
Sure.
and that's why
Right.
that's why I said
I know them numbers.
that's why it's important though. Like in those relationships is because like me personally, when I'm thinking about like if I want to keep somebody around me, and this isn't even just a significant other. This isn't just women. I'm talking women, men, anybody that I have a relationship with. Before cutting those ties, I'm thinking to myself like, okay, if this person's out of my life, what would change? If nothing changes, then it's like, all right, why do I keep them around? So in a relationship, a lot of times it becomes lopsided like that, where it's like you have, when you're a man that is wealthy, that has things, that has a certain financial status, you have a lot of women that will come to you to get what you have. So you have to be able to weed out all of that. And that's not always easy. It's easy, you have women all the time say, oh, y'all go after these chicken heads, blah, 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 blah. It's easy to say, but it's like when you're in that situation, it's not always easy to, you know what I'm saying? Because they're constantly coming.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you have a lot to bring to the table. So it's like trying to weed through that and then knowing who can actually contribute to the relationship, who can actually make your life better, not just financially, but just contribute to making your life better.
Yeah. Because the difference between like women are born with value. You have to preserve it. But we have to, once we actually build up our value of like, we look good, we dress good, we make some money, things like that. It, like, y'all know, first off, I'm going to make sure y'all know. Do you know what the average black man makes in America?
I think you said like 50,000.
60,
Didn't we have this
like
conversation
60,000.
last night?
Like 55,
It's less than
60,000.
50,000.
Yeah.
45,000.
Right.
60,000.
So when it comes to black men in America, there's such a small percentage of actually high value men. So you have 1,000 women that want these 1% men. You know what I'm saying? Like it's such a small. I don't even think women really be understanding that either. A lot of them, they don't make no money. You know what I'm saying? And dress good and look good and all that stuff. That comes with whatever too. So, the thing about it is that with us, like you're saying, like there's so many things that we sifting through because since we're at the top of the litter in a sense, we got so many freaking people that's coming at us. So in saying that, with y'all understanding that for women that's watching this, what is your advice when it comes to talking with other women about your relationship and being good? Because I've always heard that when women, you shouldn't tell your friends about how good the relationship is because some of them will try to go back door and like, because there's such a slim
I'll
pickings of,
slap the shit out of her. No,
you know what I'm saying? Like some women will literally try to target your relationship, and see how strong it is because they seeing you on social media oh, my man got me this Louis, he got me this YSL bag, got me this. And some women test the strength of your
But I mean,
relationship.
I buy my own stuff,
Hold on,
and they
we
still
gonna
say
know
that
that.
you buy.
Hold on. We're gonna stop you right there.
We know you and Louis.
We know you.
We know
you a frequenter.
Can't be Louis.
We know.
So look, this is what we gonna do.
They just hit me up in Orlando too, a new girl.
So look, we're gonna stop y'all right here. We're gonna take a break. We're gonna do part 2. Because this shit is getting spicy.
Shot o'clock.
So we're gonna take a break. I'm your host, or one of your hosts, your boy Brian Keys, aka BK609. I gotta pee.
Vic Gurley, aka MVP Vic.
Chris Bruce, a.k.a. Detroit Mogul. Listen, we coming with the part 2. We got ladies. Maggie.
How come every time they talk, they gotta be that?
Yeah.
Well, what's up? You gonna do it? Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead. Show us how we should do it, KT.
AKA just a cute.
This MVP.
No, I don't make a payment late. New estate got my name on the